Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Superhero Deep Dive. I am your host Jason and I have a fun episode. It's going to be a good one and I think you guys will like it. Before I get into it, let me give my normal disclaimers. The information pulled is from different sources across the internet and may or may not be completely complete, but they do give a really good insight on the current superhero. If there are things that I leave out, usually it's on purpose. And that's mainly because I don't feel like that contributed a lot to the story or to the essence of the character. Or it may have actually pulled the character in a totally different direction, which would confuse readers that might be trying to get into the hero that we're talking about. So, I try to give the essence of the character so you can build on it for your own self from there. As always, if you want to reach out to me, you are more than welcome. If you're watching me on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. If you have any requests, I'm all for it. If you want to open up a discussion, I am all for it as well. I love getting those. And I do try to respond to every comment to keep a discussion going. Other than that, you can reach out to me via email at b4itall, so b4itall at yahoo.com. You can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and maybe if you're lucky, if I'm even lucky enough to get on it, Twitch under Super Deep Dive, and use the hashtag Superhero Deep Dive. I post superhero memes throughout the week. I should start ramping that up again this week. I have a couple ready to go, which are quite funny. Also, if you are listening to me on Outworld Fleet Radio, it must be a Tuesday or Thursday because I am aired throughout the day on Tuesdays and Thursdays on Outworld Fleet Radio. And their website, if you ever wanted to check it out for some awesome content, it is www.un-conventional.com/radio. And like I said, I am on every Tuesday and Thursday throughout the day. All right. So this week I am talking about Zealot. If she sounds familiar to you, you may have seen her back in like Image Comics, I believe, with the Wildcat series, and then she ended up in DC. So it's really kind of weird, but it's cool. She's a cool character. Her real name is Lady Zana, and she is a proud warrior from the planet Kira who has lived thousands of years, waging a very long war against the Demonites, and having experienced relationships with both humans and aliens alike. The Cherubim, which is, what her people are called, the Cherubim Demonite War, spread across the galaxy, eventually involving Earth when Demonite and Cherubim ships crashed on the planet. Zealot survived the crash, later forming an Earth chapter sisterhood of warriors called the Coda, whose mission it was to stop the Demonites from conquering the planet. Centuries later, the Coda would be revived in response to increased Demonite activity. Zealot, being the former Majestrix of the Coda Sisterhood, helped develop their virtues and practices. Despite the virtues and practices of the Coda being strictly between the women of the Kira race, mating, however, was enforced due to the high infertility rate among the men and women of the Cherubim race. Zana was then paired with another Cherubim named Majestros, resulting in the birth of a daughter. However, because it is forbidden for Cherubim women to be both mothers and warriors, Zealot's mother Harmony convinced her to lie to everyone that the child was stillborn, while Harmony pretended that the child was hers, raising it as Zealot's sister. The child was named Kanisha, although Kanisha would become best known by the name Savant. So that's pretty interesting. It's a warrior race. She's a female warrior and living throughout time and abandoning her baby. I don't know. It's a pretty interesting premise though. Okay, as time went on, Zana realized that the Coda Sisterhood began to stray from its true ways and precepts and decided to leave. However, leaving the Coda Sisterhood is forbidden, which made Zealot marked for death. She would then go on to fight against the Coda on multiple occasions while continuing to wage war on the Demonites and wandering the Earth. Sometime afterwards in the 1960s, she joined Team 1 under the alias Lucy Blaze, aiding fellow Cherubim survivors Lord Emp, Magestros, and John Colt in the battle against Hellspawn, a Demonite Lord and his Cabal army. Using an army of post-humans and Demonites, Hellspawn attempted to destroy all of humanity using nuclear missiles, so the Demonites could rule the Earth. However, Team 1 emerged victorious and disbanded shortly after. It was also during this time that Lady Xana, or Zealot, would form a brief relationship with John Colt and have a second child, a son. Continuing her lifelong dedication to the path of a warrior, she then gives the child to a Siberian family for the child's protection. The child would later become Stormwatch member Winter, who remained unaware of his true parentage due to Zealot ultimately choosing to let go of her past. Zealot would soon meet a man who would become known as Grifter, and the two went on to have an unusual relationship over the following years. Wanting to see Grifter overcome his traumas and tragedies, she decided to teach him the ways of the Coda that she had once belonged to, despite the tradition that only women should receive the Coda knowledge. Her Coda teaching stabilized Cole's sanity and removed what remained of his psionic powers. Cole and Zealot waged war against members of the Demonite race and would soon join the Wildcats. Around this time of joining the Wildcats, Zealot and Grifter ended their relationship but mutually agreed to remain as partners. However, Cole still loved Zealot, even though he was unwilling to rekindle their relationship, thinking it would only bring him pain. Zealot left the Wildcats and briefly joined Department Psi and co-led Wildcore with Backlash, a half-Karen and former member of Team 7. The team was assembled by Department Psi Director Antonio Giovanni to fight against the Duran, a long-missing alien race who were ancient enemies of the Cherubim and Demonites. The Duran have appeared again after a millennia of absence, seeking revenge against the Cherubim, and are planning on taking over the world and the galaxy. After defeating the Duran with the aid from Mr. Majestic, Zealot finds herself facing her former master, Tapestry. Her former master's name is Tapestry, who attempts to enslave her again by way of magic. The Wildcore team emerges victorious and Zealot leaves the group afterwards. In later years, Zealot has faked her own death and began hunting Coda on her own, before being brought back to the Wildcats, where, as far as we know, that's where she is now. Or as far as I know. You may know more, and if you do, let me know in the comments. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of this character? I gotta say, I was more of a fan of the character the less I knew about her. I'm not a big fan of, repeatedly leaving your children. That's just maybe that's the father in me. I'm just not. It's not cool. It's not cool to me. Sorry, not sorry. But it does have a good story though. It does have a good, interesting story. And there are lots of points that can continue her character development. So I will give her that. Let's give her powers. Let's talk about her powers. Okay, powers. Given the centuries lifespan of Karens, Zealot has studied and mastered many styles of both armed and unarmed combat. Telepathy, teleportation, and accelerated healing are some of the abilities she possesses. As a member of the Karen race, she has enhanced strength, stamina, reflexes, and durability, which extend far beyond the peak of human beings. Although Zealot favors bladed weapons, following the Coda tradition, she is also highly proficient with firearms, given her centuries of experience in warfare. Zealot also has a good amount of knowledge in dark magic, which was taught to her while spending a century of her lifetime serving a witch known as Tapestry. However, she does not rely on it much, for it corrupts the soul of the user. Ironically, the use of dark magic is what allowed her to defeat Tapestry in a decisive battle. So she's got that too. She's got her normal For all intents and purposes, she's like a hardcore Wonder Woman. And then she has power over dark magic. Which is interesting. Fun facts. Zealot appeared as one of the main characters in the half-hour animated television series Wildcats, which ran for one season from October 1994 to January 1995. I looked this up on YouTube before I did the recording, so we're not going to take a field trip today, but there are playlists that say full episodes of Wildcats. I will be checking it out this week. I'll probably do it while I'm at work and just have it play in the background. But, you know, with it being an animated series, for her being a warrior, they cut down on a lot of the violence. So she probably kicks him, she probably hits him with the sword, but doesn't actually like slice him. I don't know. But I encourage you all to watch it and let me know what you think, because I think it'd be interesting. Alright. So what do you guys think of this character though? Like, pretty weird stuff. You know, from a planet. She's got multiple alien enemies. She was here to fight the Demonites. You know, found out there's another race that she needs to fight. I don't know. Just, there's a whole lot here. Had a couple kids. She was convinced to leave one of them with her mom, which I can understand. She left another one because she'd rather be a warrior than a mother. I can kind of understand it. I don't want to really understand it, but I can kind of understand it. You know, and maybe that's just how her race is, you know, like the alien race, the alien or the planet she's from. Maybe there isn't that familial bond that we have as Earthlings, as humans. I don't know. What do you guys think though? It's interesting, right? It's pretty good premise. But we're gonna get to the part of power expansions. But before we do, if you do have questions, comments, what are your thoughts on this? If you have requests for future episodes, please let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, under Superhero Deep Dive, please comment, like, subscribe. Help me grow the channel. I want to do a giveaway. I've got a giveaway planned if we get to 500 subscribers. So let's do that. Let's get that first milestone. Other than that, you know, let's keep moving. I don't know, like, send me an email at b4itall, and that's what the number 4, at yahoo.com, or you can let me know what you think on Twitter, Instagram, or really don't do Twitch. I have it, and I have to list it because if I ever get on it, it's there, but it's Super Deep Dive under Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. But let me know. Let me know what you guys think of this character. But now let's do the power expansions. This is my favorite part because I go into it and I talk about, do they need a movie? Should they have an animated show? Should they do a comic series, a storyline, or a live action series? You know, where can we go? Where can we take this character to have a little bit more relevance than the obscurity that they're in now? So, we have a character that's like definitely modeled after Wonder Woman. She doesn't have the lasso or the quest for peace. She's a lady that likes to chew gum and kick ass, and she is all out of chewing gum. But can she have her own movie? You know, of course she can. Of course she can have her own movie. She's an interesting character, but aside from that, would she have a story compelling enough to bring in an audience and to keep them interested? You know, that's a question we have to ask. That I don't think she has. I'm hitting a roadblock with it. I just can't really imagine people watching this or even seeing a teaser trailer and not thinking it's just another reboot of Wonder Woman. So we need a better base for her. We need something a little bit better for her. The character deserves better. So here's what I propose. Let's take a two-pronged approach to this character. Let's develop a live-action series where we can introduce the character and have her grow and keep it pretty simple. Like the small villain for an episode or two. Like she beats them. She beats Demonites, whatever. Every so often we have a big baddie for the last few episodes, only to return later. You know, stuff that's your normal CW superhero show formula. You know, because for as simple as that formula is, I gotta admit, I do really enjoy the CW shows, like the superhero shows. But while we're doing that, let's launch, this is the second prong, let's launch a comic series that goes along with it. The comic can delve into Zealot's past, her conflict with the Demonites, other enemies, her upbringing, stuff like that. It can go into a little bit more detail while the show focuses on the current happenings. So we can see kind of a history of why the Demonites and the Cherubims are at war. We can see her past, like, you know, kind of like with some of the stuff she's dealt with over the ages. You know, I mean, I think that stuff like that, to be able to develop the character's background, would be great, but doesn't necessarily have to go along with the show. Like, it can work alongside it, but you don't need the show for the comic. You don't need the comic for the show, but if you have them together, it makes both experiences even better. You know, this is kind of how a lot of movies will have a novelization of it. That's where I got the idea. So it gives extra background and information that may have been left out of the movies to better understand the characters. I think with this, we'll be able to build a good fan base in both the show and the comics, while at the same time growing the character and making her into something more than just a wish version of a more popular hero. You know, because it's hard to have a warrior type woman without it, a superhero, without being compared to Xena or being compared to Captain Marvel or Wonder Woman or whatever. You know, like, we have those, so we need to get her in her own kind of category, and the only way to do that is to build her up. So, you know, that's what we got to do, and I think this will work. Zealot actually has a lot going for her if you look at it. Like, she's got a warrior background, a set of enemies with the Demonites, and she's also got some telepathy, experience with dark magic, stuff like that, you know, which can help add an extra dimension to her stories. She's just not a beat 'em up, or she's not just a beat 'em up character. You know, she can do some other stuff that can translate well on screen, and having a book to back her up and even add extra details will help. Like for instance, what if they put Easter eggs in the show that would allude to the comics, and for the comics they would add little Easter eggs to allude to the show? You know, just so they can work. It would be a lot of fun for the fans, because as superhero fans, we love pulling those random things. Like, for me, half the fun of the X-Men comics, or X-Men movies, is finding the characters that are just added in, that don't have anything to do with the storyline. They're just like the extra mutants that are part of the story, or part of the comics. You know, I love that. That's one of my favorite parts. In fact, when the first X-Men movie came out, like back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I had to watch it multiple times, because every time I would watch it, I had to watch it once to enjoy the movie, and I noticed a bunch of stuff. Then I had to watch it a couple more times to get all the things I noticed. You know, it was great. But I think we need that, because it puts the fun in the show. But they'd be into the show and want to get the comics as well to help round out all the stories. This would also be a good opportunity to fill any plot holes that may arise, because they could be addressed in one of the other mediums. You know, like, say there's a plot hole with in the comics, you know, maybe it could be addressed like, oh, she went through this training back a long time ago in the show. You know, with a simple extra line or two, and vice versa. So big question: who do we cast for this Mamma Jamma? Who may be athletic enough to support this character while at the same time translate well on the comic pages and be able to sustain the show. And the good thing about this character is that if she doesn't look exactly like the comic version, it's not really a big deal. You know, her being a Caucasian female isn't such a big deal. Her distinguishing qualities is the fact that she's a female. She's got the facial markings. She's got the white hair. You know, but she can really be from any ethnic background because she's an alien, right? So, as long as she's got the costume, the distinguishing features, she's good. She should be good. And with this, I opened it up to 2 choices for actresses that would play her. My first choice would be Mila Kunis. She's got a hell of a look. She's pretty athletic, or she was at one point. I don't know if I haven't seen her in anything in the past few years, so I don't know how she is currently. But I think she'd be well in a role like this. She's also got the name power to have a strong start to the show. So having Mila Kunis star in a show would bring fans to watch her, and then they could get hooked on the show. So it gives you a little bit of breathing room to build the character because of the name power involved. My other choice, she wasn't well known to me. I had to do some research on. I researched athletic actresses, and I found one. She may be popular to other fans. To me, I just don't know her, but I saw some of the stuff she was in, and I do remember. I do know a couple of the movies she was in. Like, there's one's called Welcome to Marwen. I don't know what character she played. I haven't watched it in a while, so I'll have to watch it again because I have it at home. But I have to watch it. But her name is Janelle Monae. She's an African-American lady. She's stunning. And she has a hell of an acting resume. She also has this look about her where she looks strong, she looks athletic, she looks sexy, but there's pictures of her where she smiles and you can tell she's genuinely happy, and she has this playful look to her where it's hard for someone to have that kind of range in just their looks, and she does that well. You know, you would think as a warrior lady, you know, maybe having a playful look, it won't do well, but it does. It does because it gives you that chance for the humanity to show through, for that personality to show through, to where she doesn't have to be so hardened. She can have those moments, which I think works. This could be just what she needs, though, to take her career to the next level. So, you know, for however much in the budget you would have to pay Mila Kunis, you could pay considerably less because she's not as well known of a name, at least to me. And I could be wrong. And if I am, let me know, because it's fine. You know, this is just my opinion. I just wasn't recognizing the name as much. But if she can get paid less, then that means that's other money you can filter into the show to improve it. You know, but this could be what she needs to take her career to the next level. That, and she'd be a strong female role model, which, if done well, is worth its weight in gold in this day and age. You know, like, we need that. We need that going on. So, you know, what do you guys think? I'm all for it. But yeah, look up Janelle Monae and tell me what you think. Can you see her as Zealot? Do you have other choices, you know, that you would choose? Do you have other actresses that you would choose? What kind of storyline? I'm really down with the whole, like, let's just take care of some of the demonites, and then we'll get Lord Hellspawn in, and you know, that, because that could lead to other characters being introduced that maybe are not as well known in the DC universe. But this at least gives us a base to go with. And keep the formula simple to grow on. But that's what I have. What do you guys think? Let me know if you're listening or if you're watching on YouTube. Let me know in the comments. I love having those discussions. So it would be great. Also, if you're on Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch, follow me, like, subscribe, whatever that stuff is. Send me a DM if you want under Super Deep Dive. And you can always email me as well at b4itall@yahoo.com. But I think that's all I have for now. This one wasn't as strong of a character, just because there wasn't a whole lot of history to it. But that also helps play into the fact that it gives us more to work with. Next week, I have a request. And I think this is actually one of my last requests that I have in Brother Voodoo. So unless there's a major storyline that comes out with him, like they did with the Scarlet Spider, we'll be covering Brother Voodoo next week. So tune in. Guys, in the meantime, I'm going to head out. Everyone be blessed, be happy, be safe, be smart. And if you're not smart, don't get caught. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.